Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today that we're just going to have a little talk about silver. We're going to talk about actually a conversation that I had with someone today, and we're going to touch a little bit on a comment that I just recently received. So I think it's going to be a pretty good video. If you guys enjoy this video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. Help me out and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this topic or really any topic relating to whatever, really. I'm always eager to come up with video ideas. So real quick, I'll just tell you the quick comment that just came in because it was a real quick comment. It was just basically, you're crazy. The dollar's going to be around forever. Or for decades. Got to be correct in how I say that. But you know, I won't say the person's wrong. Dollar will probably be around for a long time. You know, some people, and I've even talked a little bit about, you know, the destruction of the dollar and how things are going and what's happening. And, you know, when someone says the dollar is going to be around for decades or even forever, I don't entirely believe that they're wrong. I don't, because the dollar, even if it ended its term as the world reserve currency, even if it continued to decline in value, which I believe it will, I think it's inevitable that the dollar will probably be here for a while. But what will it buy you? What will it buy you? I mean, will you be able to buy the same stuff that you buy now with a dollar in a year from now, in 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You know, we're seeing the dollar is continuing to lose value, and that's actually where the conversation that I had with someone today kind of comes into play. I was actually talking to someone about some different investment ideas that this individual had, and you know, what were my thoughts on it? And you know, would you rather have your money in a savings account, or what do you think about this idea? And really, I find it interesting because, as I was explaining, a lot of people don't understand what's happening to the dollar. They understand that, hey, my gold went up, or my silver went up, or the piece of property I bought went up, or my house went up in value. My stocks might be up in value. My crypto might be up in value. They understand all that, but they don't really understand the dollar. What's going on with the dollar? And I think it's important that you guys understand that it's not just about making a profit off of the investments that you're buying, like precious metals, gold, silver. It's about preservation. Where is your dollar going to be? So, you know, I was thinking, as I was explaining this to this individual, I was thinking back about a comment that I had received not too long ago about someone's grandfather or grandparents passing away, grandmother, I don't remember exactly. The comment was a while back. But basically it said that all she bought her house. She bought her house for like 20 grand. And she managed to save $100,000. And, you know, $100,000 back in the day, your grandparents' time, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this subscriber was probably in his 30s, maybe 40s, and probably 30s, though, I would say. And, you know, you save 100 grand. She worked, she scraped. She put way more effort into saving that 100 grand than she did in saving the money to get the house. You know, she bought the house 20 grand. And the house, when it got turned over, you know, was worth like $200,000. And it got turned over to the family when she had passed away. And I think that's important to think about, because that's an asset that continued to go up in value. And it only went up in value because the dollar came down in value. I mean, I want you to think for a minute, if instead of $20,000, and this is going to make a lot of sense once I lay this out. You know, if you had the $20,000 back when grandma bought that house, you know, she's got $20,000. It's all in peace dollars or Morgan dollars, not collectible. We'll just say they've got big scrapes in every one of them, and they're all worthless except for it's a silver dollar. It's the metal. It's a dollar. It's no collectible value. But all of a sudden you multiply that by, right now you're talking a 22-to-1 on junk silver. You multiply that by 22, you're talking that 20 grand is worth now $440,000. So the person that saved 20 grand in cash would have had a lot less than the person that spent the 20 grand on a house or a piece of property, because that went up. But the person that took the 20 grand and saved it in silver, actual silver dollars, they made out the most. I sometimes get laughed at by a few friends for saving pennies and nickels. I got a bunch of copper pennies, I got a bunch of nickels, and I think nickels and copper pennies, but nickels especially, because I think nickel has a huge amount of technology that will come up later that we're going to use nickel for, that really hasn't came out yet. I know some people are like, what? Maybe you haven't heard about this, but it doesn't even really have to be technology. It can just be the metal, nickel as a metal. Our founding fathers knew what metals were going to be important. That's why they embedded it in the money. They embedded it in the Constitution. Gold, silver. Gold was your bill, your $20 gold eagles, your $5 gold eagles. Your big money was made out of gold. And then your smaller money was made out of silver. Your silver dollars, your silver half dollars, even your silver dimes and silver quarters, because they recognized silver up there. But they also recognized nickel and copper. And that's why they made copper pennies and nickel nickels. And we have slowly gotten away from everything. We've taken all the gold from everybody, so most people don't have gold coins anymore, unless you were just smart enough to save some. We've taken away all the silver, unless you were smart enough to save some in the form of, silver dimes or silver halves. And we've taken away even the pennies. As a country, we can't even make an honest penny anymore because our pennies are not copper. A lot of people don't realize that. The penny now is zinc, and the only thing we haven't changed yet is the nickel. And there's already a bill out there. It's already been approved for them to possibly change the change that we use, and the test out different metals to see if we can find a cheaper way of making change. But the truth of the matter is, I believe eventually we'll go digital, and we'll have a digital dollar. But the dollar will still be here. The dollar as a dollar is probably not going to go anywhere. If it's digital, it's still around. But the thing is, as they gain more control over it, it loses its purchasing power. Why? Because they abuse what they have. They abuse it by wanting to make more of it to fund whatever their crazy projects are. I don't want to get... I almost started talking about some of the crazy policies that I was just reading about. It's funny. It's funny that people don't realize that the value of the dollar is declining. And they might just say, oh, my prices are going up on my food. They realize that inflation, that they don't realize what's causing the inflation. Inflation's bad and the government's not doing anything about it. They're not doing anything about it because they're the ones creating it. Because when the prices of the stuff that you buy goes up, you have to pay your sales tax on stuff. And who do you think gets that sales tax? They do. It's in their best interest to have higher prices. Yeah, they come on TV and on the radio and they say how they're working on it and inflation's down. Does it feel like inflation's down when you go to the grocery store? When you go out to eat? When you go buy a vehicle? No. Now, do I think something bad could happen in the near future? Absolutely. I think we could see a huge stock market correction. And when that comes, it's obviously going to take away a lot of people's wealth. People feel like they're rich right now for some reason. They see their 401ks are up there in value. They see their houses are up there in value. But what are you gaining from that? A higher tax bill at the end of the year? Oh boy, your house has doubled in value. Great. Now you can pay more on it. Doesn't change your living condition. You're still living in the same exact house. I hear people tell me all the time when I'm talking about, because I'm one of these people that I always am disputing my taxes. Property taxes, I dispute every year almost, it seems like. And I've even talked to some of the people there about different stuff relating to it that's kind of off topic a little bit. And I said, it's ridiculous. They know the house ain't worth that much, but yet they drive the prices up. They compare old houses to new houses, when obviously you'd rather live in a nice new house with no problems than an older house that might have some little problems. I mean, I just fixed up one of my bathrooms the other day, took out the shower faucets, changed out the valve stems and all that. And, I had a slow leak in the shower that was just slowly dripping. And I actually put a bucket under it, and I would just use it. Like if I'd use the bathroom, I'd just take that bucket of water and just dump it in the toilet afterwards. And that would be like a manual flush. And then I put the bucket back in the shower, shut the shower curtain, and that's it. I finally got around to fixing it, only because I didn't really want to spend the money, but I said, man, it just keeps going and going. I might as well just fix it. But, the parts on that's up. Everything's up. And, when you have an older house, they're trying to raise the taxes even higher on that older house. And you almost have to dispute these taxes. And a lot of people don't even know you can dispute them. But they purposely go up because they know the average person's not going to give up a day of their life to go and fight the taxes. I actually told someone about it one day, and he said, no, I got to work. I don't have time for that. I said, what's the most it might take off my taxes? What he had asked me. I said, well, if let's say you're paying $1,600 a year for your property taxes, and they lower you down to, let's say, $1,300. I mean, if you save $300, you're going to make that in a day at work? He goes, yeah, but that's not a guarantee. If I make $200 a day at work and I go there and they just shave off $150, I still lost. And so in a way, they get to take more of your money. People don't understand what's going on, and it kind of makes me sick when I think about it, because it's important that you understand that the dollar is losing value. They're cheating you when they create more dollars by making the prices of everything we buy go up, and then on top of that, they're taxing the heck out of you. And there's not really an end to this system. I hate to say it. It doesn't matter who comes in office. I did watch the whole event the other night with DT and KH. I don't want to get too much into political and get hit or something. Who knows now what they don't like to hear. But, I did watch part of that, and, it doesn't really matter who comes in. The system is it's already set in place, and it's playing out, and it's like a horror movie. It just keeps going on. And the only way that you can kind of beat the system is to buy something that essentially, if it keeps going up, if they keep printing money, you make money off the inflation. And that's kind of where gold and silver come into play. As inflation continues, gold and silver goes up in value. And once you realize that, you're golden, literally, because you can start making money off that, and you don't have to cash it in. You can just put it away for a long rainy day down the road. I've known people that have needed money, and all of a sudden they had to sell a couple ounces of gold. I know one person I'm thinking of right now. He had about a little under 2 ounces of gold, and he had an emergency come up, and he had to sell it, and he was shocked. He said, darn, dude, I knew it would go up, but man, it really went up. And you're right, it did. So, he ended up selling it and took the money, paid off the emergency, and now he's continuing forward. He said, now we just keep going. These things are always going to pop up, emergencies, and either you're prepared for it or you're not. I have a belief that there's going to be a major event coming. And I don't talk a whole lot about that because it can come in different ways. I had someone ask me after I'd posted the video the other day, we were talking about my thoughts on the silver price and stuff. And that's why I kind of did the video yesterday a little bit on it. But I'd gotten asked what's going to cause the price of silver to pull back. Will it just be the short positions at the end of this month? And when is it going to happen? And, that's why I said in the video that I did yesterday, we're going to see a pullback. It's either going to be this Friday, Sunday night, Monday morning, that type of stuff, or we might see it at the very end, but we're going to see some sort of a pullback. The question is it going to come before or after the Federal Reserve cuts rates or has their rate meetings? You know, that's something, if you want to go check out that video, I just posted it yesterday. It was a great video. You know, there's no real telling, but it's something that we know, you know, that something could come down the line. A devastating stock market crash could take everything down. A lot of people are expecting a huge stock market crash because it is an election year. You look back at your biggest crashes, they happen during election years. They happen later in the year during the election year. You know, you had it in 2020, although they blame that on something else, the whole cough. We had it in 2008, but they blame that on the banks. We had it in 2000. They blame that on the whole dot-coms. We've had it every time almost we have it. Not every election, but most elections. Now, you know, it will be a little coincidental because we had the big one in 2020. Will we see another big one this year? So a lot of people don't know, but I think that the economy is not quite as great as we say it is right now. You know, they put on the news how great the economy is and things are going great. If the economy was going great, they wouldn't be discussing cutting interest rates. There'd be no point. Clearly, they see something that we don't. I kind of had to pause for a quick second because some of my dog's outside howling. Every now and then the coyotes will be around me. And when they start getting something, they start howling, and I can hear my dog howling, even though it's just funny because he's not a coyote. But so needless to say, you know, it's funny the direction of the economy, and just people just don't see it. I mean, you know, we were talking about silver going up when it was $14, $15. We were talking about it when it was $20. We talked about it when it was $25. We talked about it when it was $30. And yeah, we saw a little bit of a pullback. You know, we got up to $32.50, had a little bit of a pullback. But you know what? We went up to 29, had a pullback down to 22, and now we're pushing forward again. You know, we've seen gold go all the way up to 2,000. Had a pullback to 18, and then all of a sudden popped up to 24, 25. You know, people just don't see that it doesn't happen all at once. They have to desensitize you to it. They have to basically let you get acclimated to higher prices. We see a jump in price, then we see it come back just a little bit, and then they can say, oh, we're beating inflation. And then all of a sudden it pushes forward again. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We're about ready to see it push forward again. You know, I expect come the winter, we're going to have a rough winter for a lot of people, especially if all of a sudden we see prices of oil go up, prices of food go up, prices of energy, you know, so we'll see what's going to happen. With that being said, I will probably wrap the video up here. I hope you guys are stacking. I hope you're taking advantage of the opportunities that are out there. I am hoping to see, like I said in yesterday's video, a pullback. I would love to see silver dip down again to 26.75, the high 26 range. Even the low 27 range would be nice, but you know, we'll see what happens. I really think that they're going to have to cover those short positions at some point before the month's out. And we might end up seeing a big jump when they decide they're going to cut interest rates. And then just before the end of the month, we see it get pulled back down with crazy amounts of short positions. We don't know exactly. None of us, no YouTuber is a mind reader, a psychic. None of us know the future. We just look at the charts. We see what's going on. We follow the day-to-day information, and then we try to make our best judgment. And nothing we say is financial advice. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm telling you my opinions. And I hope it plays out the way I say to a certain point. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really cause some huge end of the world scenario. It just slowly inflates your money away, makes you work more, makes your family work more. Instead of having one family breadwinner, now you got to have two. Soon you'll have to put your kids to work. It's just interesting to see how it goes. And I was talking to a friend of mine. He's like, you watch, eventually they will be putting kids to work. They'll make school round the clock. not round the clock, round the year round, and almost like a work day. You'll put in your summers, you'll be at school. Your winters, you'll be at school. They'll cut some of these breaks out. They'll shave 2 years off of it, and they'll put you out in the workforce at a younger age. Instead of you going into the workforce at 18, they'll maybe be able to put you into the workforce at 15, 16, where you can do your small, simple job, maybe working at the grocery store or something. And then down the road, you can work your way up into some better job. And that's what they'll tell you. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again tomorrow on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.